about all the things they're bitching about. Weight classes, dates, money is coming out of everybody's mouth. I remember the time when guys used to do this because they wanted to do it.
It's big business, man.
It didn't matter who was standing across from you. It didn't matter what that was about. It was a matter of how many opportunities do I have to compete? How many can I get in a year? I remember being pissed. I still don't like that in MMA, we get a maximum of 3 matches a year. I hate that. I wish there was 4 and 5. Well, if you're Donald Cerrone, yeah, he got 5 in 1 year, or maybe even 6. But everybody else contractually, it doesn't matter what organization you're with. Everybody gets promised 3 fights a year. Floyd Mayweather fights once a year, a maximum of twice, but it's once. That pisses me off. I wanted to compete more and more and more, and that's what it was about. Now you have guys that need carrots dangled in front of their face, and I don't want to do it. Well, fair enough. If you don't want to do it, then don't. Get out of the way. The right guy steps forward every time.
But again, when you started, there wasn't there wasn't the rainbow. The best thing you could do was get in the UFC, and if you became the champ, God, maybe you made $100,000. I remember when, Randy wanted to, get a couple of these UFC fights and have an alpaca farm. That was his set.
Yeah, well, you threw out $100,000. That's crazy money. That happened over time. I remember when Randy fought Pedro, and Randy was filthy rich after that fight. Oh man, I was in the locker room when they brought him his check, and it was 75.
Yeah,
but that was insane money at that time.
So my point is there wasn't that opportunity that there is now. A lot of these guys today, and it's just time. It's just the cage fighting's only been around for 20 years. So most of the guys that have been fighting have came into the sport as a way to do something. There is opportunity, and that changes the mindset. It changes the mindset. I mean, now you have something I can do. I can make money. There's sponsors. There's this. There's that. There's managers.
It's an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole industry out there. No, I get that, but again, as a fan, I want to see guys that want to fight. I want to see guys that want to do it, that want an opportunity, not the guys that want to maneuver. I acknowledge how great Floyd Mayweather is. I fully acknowledge that. I do get annoyed as a fan when I watch him maneuver. Now, that's the boxing model. They maneuver, they pick their opponents. I mean, you go get the right manager in boxing. Anybody listening to this right now, literally, and be 20-0. There are managers that can get you to 20-0. They'll scout your opponents. They'll set these matches up. They'll do everything right. They'll get you on a card. You could be going fighting for a world title in boxing because they're so married to that record. That record is the marketing standpoint. Well, this guy's 20-0 with 18 knockouts, and the whole world just goes, well, this guy's a killer. There's no consideration to given where those fights were, why you've never heard of him, what his amateur record was, who he competed with. And there's a pureness that this sport was all based around. The ultimate proving ground. I mean, there's a reason that saying has stuck around for all these years. It used to be that way. And I wanted to get back to that, but I just have noticed as a fan, particularly as of late, guys are given opportunities they used to dream of, and they're bitching about it, and they're negotiating. There's all these things instead of just, do you want to do it or not? It's as simple as that. Let's get back to those days. Give me a group of guys that wants to do it. Again, I love the Olympics, and we just came through the Olympics, and now we've got a lull. We've got to wait another 4 years. There has never been an Olympic Games in history where they put a gold medal around somebody's neck, and some dude's sitting around his TV with his buddies and goes, well, I could have won that. I just sat this Olympics out. There's no money. There's no dangling. There's no contracts there. You have a bunch of people from around the globe that raise their hand and say, I want to do that. And I am willing to sacrifice everything to prove that I can do it better than anybody else. There's a purity to that this sport used to have. And I want it to get back to. I'm not turning on the sport by any means. I've just noticed as a fan, and as of late, the last 2 and 3 months in particular,
those days.
All the comments are the same. All the complaints by all the athletes. It's the same. You could just play the verse over and over and insert another name. And Tony Ferguson comes back to what I like. Comes back to what I grew up on, which is these are my skills. I'm willing to sacrifice and put it on the line to prove that my skills are better than yours. That's it.
You're right. The glory days are over. They're not coming back because a guy can make a living in this sport now. Not what they think. This isn't the NFL. I mean, if you want to be rich, you need to become a legend, or you need to get that strap, a couple straps. So it's just there's a different landscape. I still love it. I mean, I still love it. But again, I mean, we're a podcast. We're talking about this stuff all the time. We're fans of this sport. We think this sport's big. It's really not that big.
So I was on a stage one time doing a Q&A in England, and I was out there to corner Luke Barnett. He was getting ready to fight, and so I do the Q&A, and during the Q&A, Michael Bisping and Conor McGregor come out. So now it's the three of us doing it, but I don't know they're coming. They're in on the gag. I'm not.
You do the best Q&As, by the way.
I appreciate that.
I mean, far and away the best Q&As.
Conor was just coming out at that point, though. I don't even know if he had a main card fight. If you'll remember, Conor McGregor became a star overnight. He had one fight. It was an undercard. He knocked the guy out. He grabbed the mic. He lit the place up, and he walked away. His next fight was the Boston card. I fought Shogun that night. He was on that card, and I don't believe he was on the televised portion. He fought Max Holloway. If I'm wrong, he was the first fight of the night. But if I'm right, he was the undercard just before we even went to television. That was his second fight, and he was already a big star. That place was buzzing. It was in Boston. You had all these Irish fans. Conor was already buzzing. Where I'm going with this is when he came onto that stage that day. So it was he, myself, and Bisping on the stage. Some fan asked about the business side of it, and Conor stepped forward. Conor, every other time in that Q&A, deferred to Bisping and I, and he only spoke if we looked at him and was kind of like, hey, kid, go ahead. It's just where he was at in his career, right? He's very respectful. He's very nice. This is the way it happened, though. And he stepped forward on that question, and he goes right into his microphone, and he says, somebody asked him about the money. And he goes, you don't do it for the money. He cut the guy off. He goes, you don't do it for the money. Leave the money out of it. This is about sport. He was saying everything that I'm now telling you today I've been frustrated about. He said, this is about opportunity. This is about competition. This is about putting your skills against the other guy's skills. Now, this is before, he was a star and he came into everything. But that was his mindset. And this is only in 2013. So we're not going back all that far. I mean, essentially in MMA, Matt, that was yesterday. That was 4 or 5 fights ago. So even he came from that same perspective. Everybody did. All of the greats, none of them got into it for the fame or the money. They got into it for what Tony was talking about. Anyone, anywhere, anytime, I'm working my ass off, my skills versus your skills, and whoever wins, we accept the outcome and we walk away. But that's what the sport used to be like. And I'm just saying, as a fan, I have noticed a turn, particularly as of late. Tyron Woodley won the belt. Tyron, a personal friend and a friend of this show, but he did start going down that same road. Luke Rockhold did that the second he won the belt. He won the belt. We had him up on stage at ESPN. We were live there the night he beat Weidman.
It's the factor, brother.
But he started doing that same thing. We said, Luke, who do you want next?
Nobody's made the kind of money other than GSP.
I feel like if you cut me off here, though, you're going to miss my point. The point is, so Luke Rockhold comes out. And Luke Rockhold tells us right after he beats Weidman, we say, who do you want next? He says, I want to make money. I want whoever makes the most money. What I'm saying is, and don't miss this message, I'm not saying guys shouldn't be out there trying to make money. I'm saying if they all beat the same drum and come out and talk about it, it gets lost. They need to create it the way that Conor did, which was anyone, anywhere, at any time. Those opportunities as a byproduct will lead you to that money. But when you come out and you tell everyone, it's a turnoff. It's a turn on today what Tony Ferguson just did. Tony Ferguson is going to make money because of his attitude, because of his sacrifice, because of the hard work and the hard fights and the big wins and coming out the way that he did, coming on shows like this and getting his name out there. If you think for a second, even though Tony never brought up money, that this isn't about money, you're wrong. But like the Olympians that I use that go out and get the gold medal and then figure out a way to line up the sponsors and leverage that, that's how the game is played. It's always about the money. You just never say it's about the money. And as a fan, when I keep on hearing this, it's a turnoff.
I agree with you, brother. All I was saying is there's a Conor factor involved in this, and he's got so much shine, and he's made so much money. Everybody is pissed off, and then everybody is immediately trying to duplicate Conor. It's like like Nate said after that conference. He said, "Look at all these fools trying to dress like Conor." You know, there is a Conor factor out there.
Yeah, man, but yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. The checks that Conor's getting, and they're big checks, but nobody knows what those actually are. I read this disclosed amount. Nobody actually knows how that industry's ranked. Conor would come out and he always exaggerates his wealth, right? He learned that from Floyd
I'm agreeing
Mayweather.
With you, right?
Yeah,
I
do, but I'm not sure that you're understanding the point. I try to explain to people all the time how to make money in this industry, but they don't get it. They somewhere they miss the point. And I don't know if I'm not articulating it or if I'm not saying it clear enough or if they're just not following the blueprint. Conor stole the Floyd Mayweather gimmick to come out and talk about the money. Fair enough. It worked for somebody. Good for him. The bottom line is he is exaggerating his wealth. That happens all the time. Conor, because he was so new to the business and the industry that was just out there playing it by the seat of his pants, and most of the time it was working out for him, even the numbers he would exaggerate when I would hear them, I would go, oh, okay, you're so new to the industry, you don't really know how it works. Even with your exaggerated, inflated numbers, you're still behind the ball on the veterans that have been through, come there and done that, just kept their mouths shut and didn't come out and talk about it. So some of these guys, fighters, you brought up there's a Conor factor to this. There's a Conor. Well, Conor's getting this, so it's changed the game. You're falling for it the same way the other fighters are, that he's exaggerating. Yes, he's doing tremendously well. He's not doing what he's claiming he's doing. That's a marketing standpoint.
Game. I'm telling you.
Those were your exact words. Those were literally your exact words.
I'm telling you, it's why all these guys are beating that drum. It's why all these guys are beating that drum.
I get it. Do you understand the extremely simple concept that I'm saying?